It's time for the Peter Channel 11 o'clock news and it's late Friday night, September 23rd, 2016. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins here. Late at 11 o'clock news headlines. Top 3 to 11 power is the family of Keith Lawrence has released a cell phone video recorded by his wife that shows the moments leading to this fatal shooting by police Tuesday in Charlotte, North Carolina. Ted Cruz overlooked deep reservations at the Republican nominee as well as a host of very personal insults about him and his family and endorsed him on Friday. Beirut, Syrian and Russian warplanes launched a ferocious assault against rebel held Aleppo on Friday, bearing any hopes of the U.S. The Democratic and Republican presidential hopeful found very common ground on Friday and imposed on President Obama's decision to veto legislation that would give 9/11 victim families standing to sue the Saudi government over the deadly attacks. President Obama on Friday vetoed legislation that would allow families of 9/11 victims to sue Saudi Arabia for its alleged ties to the terrorists who carried out the attacks. Hackers trawl user data in hopes that a small target will lead to a big one. North Korean foreign minister condemned the United States on Friday for flying supersonic bombers over South Korea this week and vowed this country will strengthen its nuclear capabilities in advance of multiple United Nations Security Council. Lost 30 survived 3 days in Siberian tiger alone. Cairo, the Egyptian authorities say Friday that they have received 162 bodies after the sinking of a ship mostly full of Egyptian migrants in the Mediterranean this week. An Indian armory guard of honor carries the bodies of 2 soldiers killed in a terrorist attack in the base in Uri. Convicted double murderer Daniel Wozniak looked toward the Senate and a court when his expression voided the motion as Orange County Supreme Court judge on Friday affirmed his death sentence. Washington, the FBI released Friday nearly 200 pages of its notes from an investigation of Hillary Clinton's private email server just 3 days before she squares out against Donald Trump in the first presidential debate. The U.S. Department of Interior has announced that Native Hawaiians can now choose whether to form a unified government, which could eventually enter the form of government to govern relations with the U.S. A 2-year-old dressed in pink fuzzy pajamas wailed walks, standing in a toy of a family doll store in Lawrence, Massachusetts, as she tried to wake her mother, who followed across the floor after an apparent drug overdose. Twitter said to be discussing a possible takeover. Now integration begins. Marriott International, the largest hotel company in the world, after competing in its nearly $14 billion acquisition of Starwood Hotels and Resorts Friday, coming to 2 very different brands. Oil slumps 4% in the no-app deal expected from OPEC. For American drivers that fill out a premium gas station, AAA is a message for you. Unless you own a minimum cost per premium, you're wasting your money. Investigation into the dramatic Falcon 9 rocket explosion this month at Cape Canaveral has determined a large breach in the launcher's upper stage helium persuasion system that led to destruction. Not every scientific study can be about way to stop like gravity waves of gene editing, and sometimes you can gain a true scientific insight by discovering that mammals of vastly different sizes require roughly the same amount of time to empty. Stephen Hawking says it before to say that if extraterrestrial calls do not enter the leaves without careful consideration, these are fish that sing or drone like a bunch of loud producers in their way. People live in Asquith and Subsequent Bay have grown used to a low, strange hum that begins suddenly in the dark of the night and substress as roughly in the early. In modern history, few things have caused such a sharp spike in the U.S. as drug overdoses. CNN reached every state for the latest status drug deaths would have provided data in 2015. America is in the midst of an opioid abuse epidemic, which has caused a startling rise in overdoses and deaths from its highly addictive drugs. Scientists in Sweden have become first to edit genetic material in healthy human embryos, but what exactly overdose researchers are and why the research is so controversial. It took a double dose of pesticide that killed both adult mosquitoes and a larvae that stopped the first outbreak of Zika virus, and what a health official say Friday. Bill and Hillary Clinton are building on its Chapel compound. A voter registration event in Philadelphia August says election day is no way, but the vast majority of 50 states do not allow voters registered that day. Lawsuits are seeking the documents related to Hillary Clinton named Edmund. Take a look at some local news from the Attleboro Sun Chronicle. Plainville, about 800 people from Northern Bristol County is working on construction from Plain Ridge Park Casino, including 34 from immediate Plainville area. The economic impact study has found. The study by the Donahue Institute at the University of Massachusetts found that Plainville area residents had about $1.1 million work on the project, while the rest of the Bristol and Norfolk County workers made $7.4 million over Massachusetts County's country with the 98 employees of the 2-year construction project, and they made $90.7 million. As found by President Thursday, the State Gaming Commission. Attleboro, red, black, and blue squiggles, squares, and circles filled the final page of the large presentation pad at 3 p.m. Friday and the last day of a brainstorming and vision and session aimed at designing a new high school. A sun crisp on both spots doesn't seem so coming throughout if you have no water at all. Norton, Rachel Burnout might be a teenager but making her way for the halls of high school, but her writing career is all well on her way. Framingham, an argument over a parking spot, has led to a charges against an Edinburgh man after he allegedly pulled a knife on a Framingham couple who were arguing with his mother. Mansfield authorities have confirmed the man struck and killed by an Amtrak passenger train Thursday at Mansfield train station committed suicide. Boston State public health officials today there have now been 5 confirmed cases of West Nile virus in humans this year in Massachusetts. The Department of Public Health reported Friday that the 2 most recent cases were a Norfolk County resident in her 40s and an elderly man from Middlesex County. The woman did not require hospitalization while the man was hospitalized but later discharged. An Arlington health official says the resident tested positive of a virus which has been found in mosquito pools in the town and surrounding communities. Brookline, Massachusetts, the man who turned Reebok into an international athletic footwear and apparel giant and selling his Massachusetts home for $90 million. Peter Joe News Times now 11:06 p.m. on this late Friday night. And this evening in Manchester, New Hampshire, a Brown Avenue at Woodson Street, a motor accident. And they were requested 2 second ALS. Peter Joe News Time is now 11:06 p.m. on this late Friday night. And it's time now for a travel and transit report. Baby! Let's start and imitate where Green Line Deeper experiencing minor delays in disabled train. SL4 experiencing minor delays. On the commuter rail, please board Fairmont train 718 and lower platform at the Franklin Bridge side of Reedville Station until further notice. And please board Franklin train 718 on the lower level platform at the Franklin Bridge side of Reedville Station until further notice. And on the ferries, they are looking good. Highways and byways of New England on this late Friday night shows 95 at the south, northbound side back to the Fairfield stretch, 84 eastbound side back to just before Route 8 and Waterbury, Merritt Parker eastbound side, also east of Bridgeport, Connecticut, 95 southbound side back to the Guilford stretch, 95 northbound side back to the Old Saybrook, 95 southbound side slow to the Old Saybrook stretch. Mass fire changes today in Albany, that's a little slow. Today, westbound side back to around in Shrewsbury stretch. 195 eastbound side is back to the Somerset to the Bradford Bridge and Fall River. 7 Expressway. Southbound side back to the Morsley Boulevard of Dorchester. Mass back eastbound and westbound side is back to the Austin Bratton Tolls. 93 to the northbound side back to just before the Medford and Somerville stretch. 93 southbound side back to the Medford stretch. 95 to the southbound side is 128 on the Peabody. 120 to the northbound side back to the Beverly stretch. Mass fire change with Route 101 up in Hampton. It's a little slow, but otherwise, Vermont and New Hampshire and highways are looking good, except around the border crossings of 899 up in Canada, up in Vermont, a little slow. And Autoroute 55 northbound side is a little slow after the U.S. border in southern Quebec, and Autoroute 59 the northbound side back around Route 202 in southern Quebec and towards Montreal. And New York State 3 is leading from New York to the Pennsylvania border. Peter Children's time is now 11:07 p.m. on this late Friday night, and it's time now for a weather report. Our latest starting call. It's cell location 3.8 to the north, 65.1 in the west. Mass sustained winds at 65 miles of movement, northeast at 13 miles an hour. Southern call moving closer to Bermuda and hurricane watch effect for Bermuda and a tornado warning and in effect for Bermuda. Hurricane watch means that hurricane conditions is a possible wind in the water and in the case during the next 24 hours. Tropical warning means that tropical conditions are expected somewhere in the warning area in this case during the next 12 hours. For storm information specific to your area, please monitor products issued by your local National Meteorological Service. At 11 p.m., the center drop zone call was located in latitude 3.8 to the north, longitude 65.1 in the west. Calls moving toward the northeast near 30 miles and turn toward the northeast and faster towards port speed. Are expected later tonight, followed by acceleration toward the northeast on Saturday. On the forecast track, that center call should be past near or southeast of Bermuda during the next 12 hours. Max sustained was under 65 miles higher gust. Straight wind is forecast during the next 36 hours and called forecast reach hurricane intensity on Saturday and then become post-tropical on Sunday. Tropical enforcement said hours up to 150 miles out from the center. Estimated minute center pressure 99 millibars to 24 inches. Wind tropical conditions spread across Bermuda will continue for Saturday morning. Hurricane conditions possible on Bermuda tonight and early Saturday morning. Rainfall. Clouds expected to produce total rainfall accumulation of 3 to 5 inches over Bermuda for Saturday. Isolated tornadoes are possible on Bermuda overnight, and swells during by call affected Bermuda and are expected to be increased during the next couple of days. These swells are likely to cause life threatening surf and rip current conditions. Please connect products to your local weather office. Okay, take a look at latest on Lisa is now tropical depression with 23.2 to the north, 37.3 west. Mass sustained with at 35 miles of movement, northwest at 8 miles an hour. And Power Vibes at least become a post-tropical cyclone on Saturday at 11 p.m. Atlanta Standard Time. The center tropical depression Lisa was located in latitude 23.2 to the north, longitude 37.3 to the west. And depression moving toward the northwest near 8 miles an hour, turned toward The west-northwest are increasing in force speed it is, but expected on Saturday before turning back to the toward the northwest and then north on Sunday. Maps today was under 35 miles an hour. Gusts decreasing in maximum winds as forecast for the next 40 hours. At least as expected to become a post-triple cyclone on Saturday. Estimated minutes at pressure 1,009 millibars at 28 inches. All right. Tropical wave located southwest of the Cape Verde Islands is expected to move rapidly westward across the tropical Atlantic Ocean 20-25 miles in the next several days. And tropical conditions could be expected for some gradual development and while the system approaches it less than until its next week. Formation chance for us. Low near 0%. Formation chance for Fridays. Low 20%. All right. 7-day forecast. It goes like this. For tonight. Oh, let's look at the radar. It shows a line of rain showers stretching from the Mass Pike in Westfield all the way down for Boston, and line of rain showers stretching from Lawrence Stand for Providence, Rhode Island, line of showers and storms stretching from Middletown, Connecticut up in the Enfield to Connecticut around Springfield. And we're just having some rain showers around here in the north area just a few minutes ago. And looking at to see where they are all moving towards the east. Okay, 7-day forecast was like this. Showers may move for 5 a.m. for tonight, go around 54 degrees. North around 7 miles out of Chesapeake is 9%. New percent between the 10th quarter range possible. Saturday, most nights cover 68 degrees. North about 6 miles an hour for Saturday night. Cruise clouds about 40 degrees. Northwest about 3 to 5 miles an hour for Sunday. Sunday sky about 63 degrees. Northwest about 6 miles an hour for Sunday night. Cruise clouds about 36 degrees. Light north wind. Monday, Sunday podcast got 64 about 48 degrees. For Tuesday, part sun most clouds got 71 about 53 degrees. Wednesday, church showers up to 2 p.m. Pot says covered 71 degrees. Just patient 30%. Wednesday night, podcast got about 52 degrees. Thursday, most of the podcast got about 69 about 51 degrees. And for Friday, most of the about 69 degrees. Currently, not near it's rain in the area, and the temperature is 60 degrees with a humidity at 90%. And that is going to be it for Peter Channel 11 o'clock news on this late Friday night, September 23rd, 2016. I'm Peter Topi. Good night with a good bye day. To all see you tomorrow morning or more important. Good night.